Oh, hello there. Anna has book you must read. Come, come.
Thanks, Yoda. I do have a really good book to tell about. Hi, everybody. It's Anna again, and I've got a really cool book called Origami Yoda. This is my Origami Yoda. I'm going to put him down for a little bit. Now, when I saw this book, I thought, jackpot. I love origami. I love Star Wars. This book is going to be amazing. And I thought it was going to be a how-to book on making origami from different things from Star Wars. And it's not what it was, and I was disappointed, but I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And it turned out to be so much better, and I'm going to share this book with you. This is an amazing book about some middle school kids, just like you, with one big exception. There's a guy there named Dwight. And Dwight's a little strange, and Dwight has a friend, Origami Yoda, who helps his friends solve some problems. This is the first of a wonderful series by Tom Angleberger. We're going to look at the introduction, and then we're going to read part of one of the sections, and then you are going to be dying to get this book from your local library. Strange Case of Origami Yoda by Tom Angleberger. The big question is Origami Yoda real? Well, of course he's real. I mean, he's a real piece of paper that is a real finger puppet. But I mean, is he real? Does he really know things? Can he see the future? Does he use the Force? Or is it just a hoax that fooled a whole bunch of us at Macquarie Middle School? It's really important for me to figure out if he's real, because I've got to decide whether or not to take his advice or not. And if I make the wrong choice, I'm doomed. I don't want to get into all that just yet. So for now, let's just say it's about a really cool girl named Sarah and whether or not I should risk making a total fool of myself for her. Origami Yoda says, do it! But if he's wrong, total humiliation. So I've got to know if he's real. I need solid answers. I need scientific evidence. And that's why I went around and asked everybody who got help from Origami Yoda to tell their stories. And I put them all together in this case file. Who knows? Maybe this case file could be useful if scientists ever decide to study Origami Yoda. Now, to try and make it really scientific, I let my friend Harvey comment at the end of each story. Harvey has never ever believed in Origami Yoda for 1 second, and he still doesn't. In fact, he still says he is 100% sure that origami is just a green paper wad. He's got a logical explanation for all the weird things that have happened. And I commented on each story too, because after all, I'm the one who's trying to figure out this whole thing. Oh, my other friend Kellen wanted to help too, so I let him borrow the case file, but instead of adding anything useful, he just doodled all over it. I was mad at first, but actually, the doodles kind of look like people from our school, so I didn't bother to erase them. And anyway, I don't have time for that. I've got to study this thing and make a decision. Is Origami Yoda real or not? Oh, yeah, I almost forgot one thing. Dwight. Dwight is the guy who carries around Origami Yoda on his finger. Now, the strangest thing is that even though Origami Yoda is so wise, Dwight is a total loser. I'm not saying that to be an insult. It is just a fact. Dwight never seems to get anything right. Always in trouble, always getting harassed by other kids, always picking his nose, always finding a way to ruin it for everyone, like the teachers say. If he would just listen to Origami Yoda's wisdom like the rest of us, he would have it made. But now, he ends up barfing in class because he ate 13 servings of canned peaches at lunch, or stealing girls' shoes, or wearing his shorts with socks pulled up above his knees. And he even manages to turn cool points into loser points. See, he is the origami master of our school. He first started making cranes and frogs and all that, and then he started inventing his own stuff. Now, Origami Yoda is not just a perfect paper version of Yoda. He's also Dwight's own design. Now, Dwight's not the first person in the world to make an Origami Yoda. There's a bunch of them on the internet. But Dwight didn't download the instructions. He actually created his own Origami Yoda. But it's one thing to make a paper Yoda, and it's another thing to ask people to talk to it. That's what makes him a loser. You can't go around school with a paper Yoda on your finger talking to people. I bet even Origami Yoda would tell him that, if he would just listen. And now let's look at Chapter 2, Origami Yoda and the Embarrassing Stain by Kellen. All right, this is Kellen here, and Tommy asked me to write down what happened with Origami Yoda. But I was like, I hate to write things down. That is way too much like homework. Having to write a bunch of stuff down and make complete sentences like that. And I'm like, no thanks, dude. So I'm just going to record it on this recordy thing and let Tommy write it down. So I guess you can edit out where I say and stuff like that. Okay, what happened to me was this. I was in the bathroom right before school was about to start, and I saw that someone, probably Harvey, had written, "Kellen drinks pee" on the wall over the sink. And so I leaned across the sink to erase it, and I had on these light brown pants, and they got all wet in front. And it looked like I'd peed my pants really bad. So I tried to cover it with my shirt, but it's this really shrimpy Scooby-Doo shirt of mine, and it wasn't long enough to cover the pee part, which wasn't really pee, of course. Lance was in there too. "Dude," he said, "that doesn't even begin to hide your pee stain." "Lance, you saw this isn't a pee stain, right? I mean, it's just water from the sink."
Yeah, I saw that, man, but it looks like you totally peed your pants.
"But you tell people the truth, right?"
What am I supposed to do? Follow you around and tell people it's not pee, it just looks exactly like pee?
Then the warning bell rang for homeroom, and that meant I had 1 minute to get to class. There's no way I could get my pants dry in 1 minute, and there's no way I could go to class with a giant pee stain, which wasn't really pee. Okay, for one thing, Harvey's in my room, and he's a total dipwad about stuff like that, and he would say something really loud, and everyone would see it, even people who don't normally look at me. Oh, even worse, Rondella's in there too, and the last thing in the world I need is for Rondella to see me with a pee stain, which wasn't really pee, you know. Then I had an idea. "Hey, Lance, will you run to class and get my coat? I think it's long enough to hide the stain."
No time, dude. I'd never make it back here in 1 minute. Speaking of which, I gotta go to class now. Got about 40 seconds left. See you, Kellen.
So Lance left. Thanks, Lance. Now, right now, you're probably thinking, so what? Show up to homeroom a little late. Great, except for various reasons, I've been a little late about 20 times this year. And Mr. Howell said the next time it happened, I'd have to spend the day in ISS. That's in-school suspension. It is the most boring thing you can imagine. Plus, every time I get sent there, Principal Robisky sends a note home to my parents, and I lose the PlayStation for 2 weeks. So, I had to get my pants dry in 40 seconds, except for the fact that it's physically impossible to do that. Then Dwight came out of one of the stalls. You know, it's like he's in the bathroom every single time I go in there. "Look at my pants, Dwight. Do you have any ideas?"
I'm getting the idea that you peed your pants.
"No, I didn't. I mean, do you have any ideas that would help me?"
No,
he said. And then he held up Origami Yoda, which was on his finger.
but Yoda might.
"Whatever," I said. And then Dwight did his Yoda voice, which Harvey is right about being totally the worst Yoda impression of all time. I do it way better. But anyway, Yoda said,
All of pants you must wet.
"What?"
I guess, Dwight said in his normal voice, he means you need to make all of your pants wet so it doesn't look like a pee stain anymore.
Then he left for class too. So I turned on the water and splashed myself all over, pants and my shirt too. And then I ran to class and got there just before Mr. Howell was shutting the door. "Should I even ask why you're all wet, Kellen?" said Mr. Howell. "Nope," I said, and I sat down real quick. He was skeptical, but he went ahead and took roll. After homeroom, I had PE, so I was able to switch to my sweatpants for the rest of the day. And everybody wondered why I was wet, and sure it was cold and uncomfortable there for a while, but the important things are, I didn't get sent to the office, I didn't lose my PlayStation, and Rondella didn't see me with a pee stain, even though it wasn't really pee. And that's when I knew Origami Yoda is real, man. He is totally Jedi wise. So pick up Strange Case of Origami Yoda, hear about all the other cases. There are 2 sequels out there for you to grab, and then in the fall, the 4th one comes out. I know you're going to love this summer read.
Good summer you have.